You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Derrial Christon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I'm your host, Derrial Christon. Here joining me today is Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
And DJ Jesse J.
What's up?
On today's show, we have a variety of different topics, including Whitney Houston fans can expect a live album. That's right. A Django Unchained actress has been accused of prostitution. What?
There's some
That was so scandalous.
That's a lot of tea on that one. And Obama is set to send the military to Africa to fight Ebola. That's right. Chicka chicka what? That's right. But first, we are going to read the results from last week's BuzzMeter question, which was, should Ray Rice be terminated from the NFL? Which we already know the results from that. But you guys voted. 20% of you said no, and 80% of you said yes.
There's hope for the world. Oh my
There's
God.
hope.
There is.
Finally, there's hope, right?
Wow.
You know what? For
I'm
some
surprised.
reason, well, the way that people were like going back with his jerseys and wearing his jerseys and doing all that kind of stuff, I thought that this might be a little closer.
I thought it was gonna be either
Probably a little
even
closer.
or he would be winning out for like he shouldn't have been fired. But go America, y'all got a moral compass. Praise the Lord.
Yeah. What you thinking, Jesse? Because you quiet over there.
He's like, I just think he
Keeping your
should
thoughts to
be.
yourself. Is that what it is? Hashtag Friday. Keeping thoughts to yourself.
You can't keep your thoughts to yourself. You're on a show. We're supposed to talk about
Exactly.
Your
You're
thoughts.
supposed to talk about things
I
like
was
this.
just really unaware that people were wearing his jersey.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
At the game.
Yeah.
They were like,
something?
no, they were wearing it like bring him back.
Bring him
this
back,
is
yeah.
bogus.
Yeah.
And women were doing it.
Women, yeah, exactly. Women as well. Yeah.
Everyone, please have
Girl,
several. The 20% can go sit somewhere. That's what I have to say.
Go sit down.
Who was
Go
it?
sit
Was
down.
Chris Brown up
Or
all
get in the
weekend?
elevator
Right,
with
Well,
him.
Chris Brown did give him some advice
Can
when
we
he was
not?
being
No.
interviewed, but
But
we won't
no,
even.
I'm
We won't.
glad you
We
brought
can't
that
even. Yeah, we can't even talk about it. If you should, I'm going to tell you
that
is just
down.
go online and read what Chris Brown said.
A mess.
A mess as he quotes some advice to Mr. Rice. So, all right.
Lord have mercy.
All right. So this week's BuzzMeter question is: do you think Adrian Peterson should be removed from the NFL? Which we'll talk about that story a little bit later, and we want to know what you guys have to say, and we'll read those results next week as well. But first, we are going to do trending topics with DJ Jesse J.
So Kevin Hart, the last time we talked about Kevin Hart was a little shady business about him marrying, proposing to his
Proposing.
fiance
Right.
on the day of his ex-wife's reality show.
And we love
premiere.
Tori Hart.
And we love Tori, we do. But Kevin's in the news for doing something actually really cool. He donated $50,000 to HBCU, Texas Southern University's band, after hearing that the foundation, Tom Joyner Foundation, was trying to send the members to see Michael Strawn get inducted into the Football Hall of Fame in Ohio. So they couldn't raise the money for it, so Kevin Hart decided to donate $50,000, and they thought that that was so nice that they went out and bought 100 tickets to Think Like a Man 2 for Kevin Hart. So they wanted to show their respect because they will be traveling to Ohio to see the Football Hall of Fame in action.
My state. That's right.
Have you been? Is there a museum or something?
Several, but you know, it's been a while since I lived there, so don't give me a quote on which museum that is.
Is that?
Yeah, that was like
just
a
really
that was
funny.
half penguin, half what is
Half
Isn't
Beyonce.
it
Have
totally come out, like-
Oh boy.
So shout out to Kevin Hart for
Shout out to him.
making a difference in changing the world. Next up, speaking of changing the world, Lupita Nyong'o was on Sesame Street, kicking it with Elmo.
Yo.
And she was, teaching people and kids and, adults
Because you know you be watching Sesame Street.
that they should love love the skin they're in and also that other people are in. I think we have a clip from Lupita's appearance on Sesame Street. Very cute, fun,
Skin
colorful.
is so flawless.
I mean,
that picture is like, whoa.
it was... The video is just flawless because it just looks like a CoverGirl commercial the entire time as Elmo's tickling.
Under your fur.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Look at that! Elmo's covered in skin too! Wow. Miss Lupita?
Yes?
Why is Elmo covered in skin?
Well, our skin covers our whole body to protect it, Elmo.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Good job, Skin.
Skin can also help you touch and feel things.
Well, like what?
Well, you can use your skin to feel if something is rough.
So there we go, Lupita and
Hard
Elmo.
or soft, hot or cold, skin can feel lots of different things.
There we go, her appearance on Sesame Street. So shout out to Lupita and Elmo teaching us, the new generation, that no matter what.
Let's just talk about how fresh that haircut is. I mean, she took it back with the old school Bobby Brown part in the middle. She killed it.
Part on the side
She killed
with
it.
a little,
The every little step I take video right there.
Baby
she killed
Gumby kind of going on nice.
I thought it was cute. I thought that the way
cool.
that it was expressed to kids was in a very generalized way, and so I think it's positive.
I agree. And once again, you said she looked flawless. I mean, those arms were...
She's cut.
I don't even know if I
Her
really heard what
skin
she
is
said, to be honest with
smooth.
you. I was too busy
Just
looking at the
looking at the
smile
natural
and just the
so
natural
pretty.
beauty. Yeah.
Well, speaking of natural beauty, the last topic that I have for y'all, I know we spoke about this before, that there was an idea of Whitney Houston's camp coming out with a live album and DVD. Well, it is true, and it actually got a release date. It is called, I'm sorry, it's not called, I don't know what it's called, but it's coming out November 10th. I want to say it's called Moments of Something. Damn it, it's up on the video, but we're going to play the video. We have a clip. No, we don't have a clip. Do we have a clip? We don't have a clip. Damn. But basically this track...
You want me to sing the tracks?
Can you give us a little...
You know,
Come on.
Not even close.
All right. But basically what this is going to be the first performance Whitney Houston ever did live. Along with some of her final performances, which I'm kind of...
We don't really want those. Could we get
Yeah,
some in
it
between?
depends on those time periods.
It's going to be the time. It's going to be throughout her whole career of different performances throughout her whole lifespan. As far as new songs, old songs, the CD's going to have more on it than the DVD will. Okay. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's like when I first saw this, the only thing I could think of was like, please let this be pre-Michael Jackson celebration Whitney, when she was like, wasn't that the Michael Jackson celebration on CBS where she had like, she was like 30 pounds?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, because her voice, that's when we really started to notice that voice go downhill.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we take it back to like the greatest love of all, Whitney.
As long as we get it from about 85 to around about 92,
we good. We are good.
We're good to go. That's all I need.
Well, so the reason we don't have a clip is because the trailer is on Facebook, so you guys can go to Whitney's Facebook, and there's a trailer of it. And I'm not gonna lie, it got me super excited.
Really?
Like just going back and seeing some of the costuming and things like that.
Yes, honey.
Whitney, you did that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
that.
nothing like her. You know, when she was at her peak, her voice is just completely phenomenal and flawless.
And she's one of those people that like because sometimes when you go to see a concert like and they sing live, you want it to sound exactly like it sounds on the record. Like you don't want them like changing it up and doing. She would rearrange some songs and kill it, and you would be like, I can't sing along because I don't really know where you're going right now, but it's so amazing. So it would be great. I'm excited.
So make sure you guys check that out. November 10th, a special CD/DVD live album that will be released. And actually, her mother, Sissy Houston, hand collected the songs that will be on the album.
Oh, good.
See, that I already know it's gonna be popping then. If Cece's involved,
Sissy is getting
Sissy involved, it's gonna be popping.
She's gonna pick the good stuff.
16. I'm sorry, it was 16 songs on the CD and 19 on the DVD. That's worth it. That's worth it.
I'll get both.
I'm in. So make sure y'all check that out. And as soon as y'all are done checking that, well, actually, before you guys check that out, make sure you guys head over to AfterBuzzTV.com. Whatever your favorite TV show is on whatever station, don't really even matter because we even cover shows on Netflix, Hulu. Whatever your favorite TV show is, head over to AfterBuzzTV.com right after it airs because we will be talking about it live in studio. And you never know, we might have your favorite person from the show in studio. AfterBuzzTV.com.
Show you right.
Thank you, Jesse, for those trending topics. We're going to move on to Gossip and Rumors with Courtney Stewart and her curly do.
Yes. Oh, such disappointing news in Gossip and Rumors this week. Okay, first up, we have Robin Thicke is in the news, and he is so trifling, and it's so depressing because I was so in love. Anyway, so he was in the news this week because he has basically come out to admit, not really kind of purposely, I don't know, but it's been found out through his deposition about the, so basically he's being sued with Pharrell for using the song for Blurred Lines. That was Marvin Gaye's song, and Marvin Gaye's family suing them. So he was deposed, and in his deposition, he basically said, He was high all last year on Vicodin and vodka in a water bottle every day, so he didn't really write blurred lines, even though he was running around saying how he wrote it all last year. And actually, Pharrell wrote everything, and the reason he said he wrote it and Pharrell gave him some credit on it was because he was jealous of Pharrell and being able to pull off that wonderful artsy thing that went so well for him for a minute. So the real reason his wife left is because he was drunk and high all the time, and that's why he was misbehaving, and therefore perhaps he is not really culpable in this whole case against Marvin Gaye's family, because he didn't really write nothing and he didn't really have nothing to do with it. Every time he was in the studio, he was high, so he didn't know what was going on.
That's fine. Your high paycheck wallet was smiling.
Right, while you was humping Miley Cyrus on the award shows and all
Still
kind of
collecting checks,
performances.
brother.
Okay.
So now, yeah, it just makes him look so grimy.
Yeah,
it
like
does.
so much more. I'd rather think that he was just too excited about the fame and like sleeping with all the girls because Robin Thicke been around forever,
Right.
and he had not blown up like he did last year with Blurred Lines. So I was like hoping he just had an ego issue and couldn't handle it and was messing around with the women. And now you're trying to be like, I was drunk and high and I have no idea what was happening.
But the story
weird.
still to me doesn't add up by him saying that, you know, that he was taking the credit because of his ego.
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, Pharrell never said anything. Like, I don't know. To me, there's something missing out of this story. Doesn't it sound a little
Oh, no.
suspicious
I
to
feel
you a
like
little
basically what they're trying to do is poke a bunch of holes, so that way
Nothing makes sense.
So that way it just kind of keeps going on and on to where the family's probably going to be like, okay, well, fine, whatever. Maybe it's not this, or, you know, the price might go down as far as what they owe or something. I mean, like, you just sitting up here, you have a career, and you just throwing the finger at the man that made you your #1 hit.
Right.
Yeah. I would love to get a Pharrell comment after all
Me too.
this.
That's what I'm saying.
Interested in
I'm surprised
that.
he's so quiet, but I guess he doesn't have.
I want Pharrell just to go.
He doesn't need to make a
Pharrell,
comment.
he don't even
He's too busy
care.
making hits.
Who?
Yeah.
He's like, whatever.
He's on to the next.
But I'm kind of sad for Robin Thicke because I feel like it's kind of over.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it's over.
I think it's kind of over.
100%
Yeah,
over.
because he's not like swoon worthy anymore because he's just a
Drunk,
disaster. Like
pill popping.
Yeah, but see, there's always the comeback when you can say, like, he's blaming the alcohol and the Vicodin right now, and then he comes back and says, hey, I went to rehab. I mean, look how many people we let back in because of
I
rehab.
don't think we care enough about
that's what I was
it.
gonna say. He hadn't garnished enough love and honoring yet for us to be like, please come back, please come back.
Like, literally look at this picture we have up here.
He just looks like a douchebag.
the drugged out version of Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, or the drugged out version of his dad, but
I mean, that too. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably not, I mean, he probably ain't on nothing in this picture, but I'm
Right.
just saying Justin Timberlake does it 10 times better than he does it.
yeah,
And PR-wise.
yeah.
So sorry, Robin.
Sorry, Robin.
And all his stuff overshadows the Paula Patton rumors of her having infidelity. It don't, you know, no one's really talking about that, even though there's rumors
no one
about her.
checking.
Because
for
we're
Paula
all
Patton.
like, good girl, go on and get it, because we saw all his pictures. I hope you were getting some too, because he obviously wasn't worried
Obviously,
about
he
you.
was
Finger banging
not
bitches and
worried
pictures
about
and
photographers
was
being
not
around.
concerned about you.
Right.
So, speaking of, I can't even have this conversation. Okay, so
I can't with this.
This is, this
Story.
one's crazy.
In the news / rumor mill this week, there's a young lady actress by the name of Daniella Watts, and she was in Django Unchained, and apparently she was real upset this week because she was like just making out with her boyfriend, and the LAPD came all over up in her grill like, show me your license, stop soliciting. Basically, she accused them of racism and assuming that she was a prostitute because, you know, her boyfriend's white, she's black, and they were canoodling. Well, for days, we're all like, oh my God, that's so terrible. They thought she was a prostitute? That's horrible. How
don't tell
dare
me.
you?
She's
How?
not a
Oh my God, LAPD, you racist bastards, damn you.
You strike again.
Courtney.
And then
What?
TMZ.
No.
First of all, why has TMZ become like the source
The
of
news
all
source,
real news
everything,
in
yeah.
this country? Like
Harvey does his thing.
Okay.
Harvey does his thing.
Okay, so TMZ basically on Thursday, that was yesterday, y'all, after we all been upset all week, found some pictures that basically show Danielle kind of like sitting on home dude's lap, holding herself up in the sunroof, and basically riding a schlong, y'all.
See, but no. I'm sorry, Courtney. That's not true. I looked at those pictures.
Well, I
I looked at them close.
I
All
looked
right.
at the picture. So basically, TMZ is reporting that these pictures make it very obvious that they were not just kissing. That it was obvious that they were doing other things. And there was an eyewitness that said that I can't even explain this. I don't even know what this means. But
Nick, can
anyway.
we find that picture? Is there a way we could find that picture of the Django? If not, I'm gonna look up on my phone.
So
Django Unchained star. Just type
It's
Django
right on
Unchained
TMZ.
prostitute.
It'll be in there. So an eyewitness said that the eyewitness Brian says they began horizontally bongoing her boobs back and forth. Now that's a sex move I don't know about. Like I don't really know.
I'm trying to think. Is that like the?
I'm not
the
sure
shake 'em in your
what
face,
was going.
the jiggling baby. Is
And
that what that
then
is?
the eyewitness also said she eventually reached into the center console in the car and grabbed some tissue, wiped him down, and then wiped herself down and tossed it in the grass. So that's when the police were called by this person, basically as an indecent exposure complaint. And so if y'all go look at the TMZ pictures, if we don't get them up, I couldn't really tell what was going on in the TMZ pictures, but
I mean, it looks a little interesting.
but it does definitely not look like they're just kissing like she was trying to make it
I mean, they could
seem.
be heavily making out. Here's my thing.
But she was sitting on him.
She was sitting on him, but the door was open, and then they're allegedly in front of CBS.
They were like
studios,
next to the CBS lot.
and apparently they were saying that they had been warned to stop doing whatever they do, where it's heavy making out or whatever, what have you. I just feel like if that was the case, where that block is at CBS, so many people walk past there. First of all, now they could be into that. I'm not saying that that's not what they're into.
There's a lot of freaky people
from those
there.
pictures on TMZ, to me, she was clothed because at first it was all like her booty was out and her breasties was out.
I think the thing is that she might have showed some boob and had lifted up something. I don't know, y'all.
I mean,
don't know.
okay.
I don't know what to do with
I mean,
this
I don't know
If
what
I
this
was
is.
to allegedly look at this picture, you know what I'm saying? And to me, it looked like she was giving him head. If I'm gonna join the party of conspiracy here, that's what I would assume, because he was out the sunroof and she was all up in the car.
And think about, though, the pictures are only at one moment, so
True.
whoever was watching,
that's true.
they could have been in multiple positions
You're
true. That's
throughout.
true.
Like,
I'm just checking, like, this man don't. How you have a BMW but you ain't got a bumper on your car? The back of your
Listen,
car?
I ain't gonna lie to
Talk
you.
about
When I
rock
first saw it, I
star
was
for your
really trying to
license plate.
concentrate on the story, but all my eyes kept going to, and I do not mean to sound shallow. It was like, where's the man bumper at?
you're shallow.
Where's the man bumper
He
at?
probably just got finished bumping.
I'm
with
like, how
his
you gonna
girl, and
bump?
They knocked it off.
Yeah,
She
I'm
was
like, how you gonna bump
"We're on
without the
back of
bumper?"
Let's
Know what I
get
mean?
in the car
Baby,
now.
turn
At least if you're gonna do it in
around,
decent,
sexy
in
body,
the public, have your car tight.
Have your car tight.
Have your car tight.
I don't know, girl. I don't know. Like Andy Cohen always says, this isn't good for the Jews. This ain't good for the black girls. This ain't good for the black
it
girls.
ain't good for the black girls.
She was crying real loud.
Real hard.
Racism. You
Yeah.
call me a prostitute.
And she showed the
maybe
cut.
they
She had
did.
cuts.
Yeah, but I'm
She had a
saying,
cut on her
I don't
arm.
think she's a prostitute, because I mean,
Well-
the man rolling around with that car,
Well,
he ain't got money.
No, that's
But think
they're in a
about it, that's the
relationship.
point. But think about, okay, I'm not trying to defend the LAPD, but if you get a call that there's like indecent exposure and somebody doing some freaky shit in a
Yeah,
car,
that's-
you
I would
come up
assume
on a slightly janky car on the side of the road, it could look like it was a meetup for some cash, and I'm not thinking it's that far-fetched.
Damn, girl.
I can't always spot a prostitute.
Not
So-
nowadays.
Nowadays, I mean, it was in LA. She might have been a wealthy call girl. Like,
I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
I hear you.
I'm just saying. Nonetheless,
And she had the
girl,
cuts. They showed that she had cuts on her arms from the handcuffs.
handcuffs.
Yeah.
So she was roughed up a little bit. And,
She'll be suing.
Good luck, girl. Good luck. I really hope you wasn't getting it
I
on
didn't
in
know
that
about all
car.
them other pictures.
Yeah,
That's
TMZ just had them all up, and I
scandalous.
was just like, really, TMZ, you are doing it. Anyway, continuing in the scandalous world, we got Rihanna back in the news mill this week, running off at the mouth again. She's very upset. Somewhat justified in my opinion, but basically, for those of you all that do not know, the NFL was going to use her song with Jay-Z, Run This Town, for their like big Thursday night football intro-y thing. But of course, last week when the big Thursday intro-y football thing was supposed to happen, all the drama with Ray Rice and the domestic violence and all that had just happened. So they were kind of like, it's a little weird, maybe, because if y'all forgot, Rihanna was in a domestic violence situation with the now Dr. Phil named Chris Brown. So the CBS decided to pull the song, and you know who was not happy? Because when Rihanna ain't happy, she tweets and lets everybody know about it. But the point was that CBS planned to use the song later, maybe remove her voice from part of it. They hadn't really, decided, but Rihanna made it clear how she felt about it in the following tweet. CBS, you pulled my song last week. Now you want to slide it back in this Thursday? Y'all are sad for penalizing me for this. There was an expletive in there, but that was the clean version. She basically said, fuck CBS. CBS, not CBS.
I was like, CBS?
She said, fuck CBS. So CBS goes, well, I mean,
sorry, we're
okay.
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. We're not going to use it. I don't care. It's fine. She's fine with it.
She just blew her chances at performing at the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. That's exactly what I thought.
I don't really see the NFL ever letting Rihanna. I mean, she's
there
too,
was
like,
a target. There was word on the street that it was a possibility. Yes, there was, but that is ruined now, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, how would they let Rihanna perform when she got her titties out? She has piercings, like with.
Maybe they were ready to finally take a chance since Janet's.
And Madonna
reveal.
kind of, she can be racy, and she was not.
Well,
so
Madonna
racy.
did the old lady version of her performances when she did
You're
it.
right. She
I mean, just keeping it real, she was not.
And the Satanistic apparently performance as well, from what the reports were
everybody
saying.
else is saying.
Right.
Bring on Gaga.
Yeah. Well, where is Gaga? Under a hole? Did she have a new album?
She's on tour.
Tour where?
Around the world.
Are people going?
She just had a tour in LA not too long ago. Yeah, like a couple weeks ago.
But they selling? Okay.
Pretty successful.
Well, good for her.
She's under the radar a little bit.
Actually,
She's been
it's
very-
Rihanna.
I
It's
think it's a
Rihanna and
giving.
Eminem whose tour is.
I mean, who would want to see Rihanna and Eminem, really?
I mean, the idea of it was cool.
The idea is
until I
good.
saw the.
I saw some stuff on
online,
YouTube. I was like,
Well,
yeah, I'll just wait for the DVD.
Rihanna has successfully ruined her relationship with CBS, and apparently she doesn't care.
I mean, the thing is clearly they pulled it for that reason.
I mean, but like, is that not logical? Like, isn't it kind of like if they didn't, it would kind of give, because enough of us have still the thought and memory that this was an abuse situation, and it's just like a weird link. Like, I kind of get why they're in a weird
totally
place.
get why they pulled it.
Like,
it was weird.
But then on the flip side, Run This Town is a Jay-Z and Rihanna song. Now look
Exactly.
at Jay-Z as a role model for domestic abuse in the situation of he was on the elevator and he decided not to.
Right,
feel like
but
this is
right
the
now is a
NFL's
very
way to
touchy
really,
situation for all domestic abuse.
perform.
No,
Dying
everybody's
on the
anti-domestic
inside,
abuse on
dying
anything,
on the
anything
inside.
associated with it. Forget about it. You silly though for that comment.
Well, a lot of people said were upset because they actually think in pulling the song, they're re-victimizing Rihanna, and she's obviously shown that she's overcome it and that she's in a new place, and to constantly have to push her back there is unfortunate. I understand that argument, but on the other hand, if I were the NFL, I still would be like, I'm not touching that.
I mean, especially
They
with
can't.
the Adrian Peterson thing.
Did you
too,
see
on
the
top
press
of it.
the press
I'm not touching it.
press thing today with good old? They can't touch anything like that.
Exactly. So I think they did what they needed to do. And I think Rihanna was just real hostile unnecessarily.
Yeah.
She should have been like, it sucks, but I'm a survivor. This is why I left. Because that Negro crazy.
Yeah.
And been done.
Yeah. Very good point. Look,
She could have
hashtag.
started a Twitter hashtag like
She could have.
that was positive about something instead of
She
just
could
being
have
like,
flipped
look, CBS, I hate you. Why you gotta be like that?
Yeah.
She's a mad girl all the time.
She should have been like, my DVR pulled the NFL this week. Sorry.
You're silly.
I don't watch Thursday Night Football anyway,
I
so
don't watch football.
I kind of watched it yesterday at the bar.
I watch the Super
Look at
Bowl.
you.
I know I was in a bar, and I never do
In
that.
other words, she was just drunk. She wasn't really watching.
Oh, I didn't know the
Can you not say
Falcons
that?
were like 49-0,
All right.
Look at you
and
knowing
the Falcons
scores.
don't win anything in my entire life.
All right.
Anyway.
All right.
This is
Now that we
the-
know what Courtney does on Thursday nights with her friends,
I go to bars.
is that all gossip and rumors that you have, or would you
That's
like?
only
Was
on
there a
Thursday
gossip
nights.
rumor that happened on Thursday night? All right.
That's all I got.
That's all you got. All right. We're gonna move on to hot topics, but before we do that, I want to remind everyone to go to iTunes, go to Black Hollywood Live, give us a rating and comment. We have a. I got.
church.
Well.
Tell them where they can
Tell
go.
them where you can go.
Where can you find out about
You can
Black
find
Hollywood
out about
Live?
Black Hollywood Live. You can find out about Courtney's show, Fashion 411. You can find out about The Beat, which you're giving us a little beat right now
giving us the
from
beat.
Jesse.
He's
You can
giving
find out
us
about
the beat.
Portraits, which is another show
Giving
us
us the
three
beat.
do together. We
Giving
got
us the beat.
Geek Nerd Tech.
Oh,
Let me find that beat so I can, let's see. What else we got? What we got?
We
What we
got-
got?
I
We
don't
got,
know.
I guess,
don't know.
we got Justice This, Sir. We got Reality Check. Okay, y'all missed the beat up. All right, anyway, go to iTunes. No. Excuse me, Jesse. You started going a little bit happy with your clapping. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Than you got.
Oh, I got a lot of
What's
rhythm.
going
I'll tell you, I'll show you those videos.
Oh.
All right. Oh, wait, that sounded bad, actually. I didn't mean it that way.
All right.
That sounded bad. Okay.
You're like my brother.
Just go to iTunes, give us a rating
We don't
for
wanna
Black
see your
Hollywood Live.
Daryl's the
Thank
new
you.
Iggy Azalea. He has
Y'all
a
be
sex
That's right,
tape
me
on.
and J-Lo.
Y'all be looking in the clouds.
Yeah,
Y'all
right.
might see some
Me and
Derrial
J-Lo.
going on.
All right.
You too old for J-Lo.
Right, you're right about that. I'm not 22.
That's true. She like I'm young.
She
honey.
does. All right,
So they
we're going to
can
move on to the
spring
EUR
pop
Web
and
Story
shit.
Spotlight of the Week.
She's probably flexible.
We're not going to get music today, though, I guess. Thank you.
You are.
Let's try that again. Let's see if we can do part 2. Did we get the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week music?
EUR Web Spotlight of the
All right, we don't get music. All right, so anyway, so this story has been kind of making the headlines this week, especially based off of what happened recently with Mr. Rice in the NFL. We have Adrian Peterson, who has had his Nike sponsorship deal rejected and taken away and deleted because of abuse allegations for him towards his 4-year-old child, which they say that he hit with a wooden spoon.
Oh, I thought it was a switch.
Excuse me, wooden
It was a
switch.
stick,
You're right,
yeah.
a wooden stick, several times, leaving the kid with whelps and bruises and crying, and so he's
Very upset.
he's having some problems with this. They've taken him away.
One of them being he's in jail.
One of them being, yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. So they took him off the team, and he is listed as a non-active player on the roster. So that means that he can't go to any of the activities for the
But he
Vikings.
hasn't been kicked off.
He hasn't been
officially.
officially kicked
Isn't
off.
he so? He's getting paid like $700,000 a week or something right now. Or did I read that right?
That's what
It's
I
something
read.
like that.
He
You're
still
right.
Get paid.
So, but he does have a court date on 10/8.
Talking about
And
he want to go to
Child.
Texas now to play
Well.
ball in Texas.
Well, in Texas, maybe they whip their kids.
yeah, well, yeah. Well, he has been taken off of the schedule, but he is set for a court date on 10/8 to make a court appearance to talk about the incident. So this is what Nike said in the statement made about releasing him from his sponsorship. In no way does Nike condone child abuse or domestic violence of any kind, and we have shared our concerns with the NFL. The Vikings have placed him on the exempt commissioner's permission list. So that's what the exact title of that is called, for him not to be active on the team. Peterson's jersey is no longer available on the NFL's official online store, nflshop.com.
Darn, can't cop that.
That's right.
Shoot.
Now, the question I have for you guys, do you think that he should be released from the team, A? And do you consider, you saw the pictures, do you consider this child abuse towards his 4-year-old with the switch?
I believe you can whip children. I also believe you can easily beat them if you are a
you
whipper.
believe you can whip.
You're
I think
saying
I believe
accidentally.
you
It can turn into an
whip,
accidental
and I believe
beating.
that it can turn into too much
Right.
easily, which is why whipping may not be the best option, especially in these times we's living in.
Right.
The picture of the little boy looked pretty rough.
It looked rough, yeah.
I mean, I
For him to
was,
be 4,
I
that's-
was belted as
Yeah.
a child. I got
was
the
too.
whippings with the belt,
Me too.
and I would have welts. But I never was like broken skin and bleeding and like, so I'm not making light of it, but I mean, it never went that far. So I feel like perhaps, and there's some other commentary about like he has like a whipping room in the house and like scary, like that's some scary-ish. So I think there's some things definitely amok up in there. I don't attack people that whip their children, like as a whole. Like I don't think that that's not necessarily an option as a form of discipline, but maybe it's not the best option, especially for people that's that strong, because you obviously didn't know your strength if you did it on accident. He did come out and gave that statement of apology very quickly, and like he seemed like he was trying to like be culpable for it and was upset by it. There's rumor that there was another child with another woman that there was some problems with, so that those are the types of things that make it be like, maybe you were doing a little too much and whatnot. But it's sad. Should he be kicked off the team? I mean, if you getting arrested and like going on trial and whatnot, like like,
You like point blank, right?
I mean, pretty much like that's just not good for the brand. Like, and the bottom line is the NFL is a business, and if it's not good for the brand, then it's not good for their pockets, and they deserve to be let go.
And just not to also make light fun of it, but horrible timing.
Horrible timing.
Like, if it had happened like a couple months back, maybe it wouldn't be that big of a situation. My thing is,
say January.
Right. The NFL, I feel at this point needs to reevaluate whatever they're doing, because I think at this point it needs to be an institution where we do not accept violence
at all.
At all. If you're, you know what I mean?
There's no talking your way out of it. We ain't doing no little suspensions. We not gonna halfway punish you. If there is a report and you,
if you're going to court for attacking somebody, and I understand it's your child, and again, I believe in whipping your child, because there have been, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, how many children I wanted to whip my damn self. But the point is that
Jesse, I got a visual of that actually.
I mean, it wasn't even that. It was be one quick, my bitch. No, but with him, it's like you play football. We've talked about this. There comes a point where, I mean, even with my dog, I'm so much bigger than my dog. But if my dog does something, I smack my dog. But there have been times where you
smack the dog, Jesse?
Of course I smack the dog.
They don't retain the memory to realize why you're hitting them.
My dog retains the memory. That motherfucker, before he does it, he freezes out like, never mind, I know what you're going to do. No, but what I'm saying is there are times where, and I'm damn 150 wet, but I'm saying with this dog,
I didn't get that at first. Go on. Sorry. I was like, what?
When you hit the dog, you don't realize your strength of somebody that much smaller than you. And this guy, he's playing these sports, and it's a certain mentality. And you whipping your kid, like, how bad are you whipping your kid? Like,
I mean, it looked like
that
kid was like,
lie, it was looking real like.
It was on
thorns,
some, it looked like he ran
yeah.
through some thorns. Yeah, it
I'm
really
like, why
did.
is that baby bleeding?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't never bled after a whipping. Like,
and with you
my
being an
dad had
NFL
to sit on
player,
me to whip me.
being that size, I agree with you. It's like once again, listen, let's just keep it real. We are African American. We whip our kids. A lot of us. I'm not gonna say all African Americans do.
I don't even think you need to say African American. Like, I just think that's just. It's something that people do and did.
I agree, but I think that there's a conversation that's happening. Like, for example, I know I read something with Don Lemon. He was talking this week about, he was asked about why African Americans tend to have the mentality to spank their children. And I've heard this several times, even from some of my white friends, that some of them don't believe in that form of discipline.
Yeah.
They believe in timeouts. And this is a big discussion because...
Say what Don said, though.
Okay, so sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Don said the slaves were beaten and some people had to go and pick their own whip.
And that's why we whip our children?
He said
let me take that.
It worked for them.
I'm not...
This is what
I'm not mad at what he's saying. Okay. I know where he's going with it.
I don't think he... Okay. My interpretation of that is what I don't know what he was thinking, but my interpretation of that and my decision after my study of race, and I have a fascination with that through college and whatever, what I would say to that is that the reason that there's a legacy of that, so to speak, the harsher version of discipline, is because for a very long time, even after slavery, our children misbehaving in black families could mean life or death for them.
Right.
So the idea that the severity of discipline had to be like a whipping, something that would really scare you into not misbehaving, because if you did not learn how to exist properly at home and you stepped out of line even a little bit at some points throughout our history, that could have been the end of your life.
Right.
So it just has an elevated meaning in our culture, in our history, and I think that's why maybe the whole whipping and the belts and all that has sort of been passed down, and maybe it's not as necessary anymore. I don't know. We still getting our kids shot in the street. So I don't know, but there's different ways, but timeouts don't work for every child.
Not every child. Every child's different though. Like my sister,
they take rice and they put it on the floor and you have to put your knees in the rice and get whipped. I was looking at my friend like, I'm going home.
No, I mean like it's also the difference of personalities. My sister, my parents could look at her and she would start crying. Me, I had to go pick my own switches from the tree. And they were using it on me. You know what I mean? So I don't believe in beating. Like, that kid was beaten from the looks of it.
Yeah.
That kid was beaten, unless he just really bruises very easily. But
he wasn't just bruised. That baby would bleed. Like,
he
his
was
skin
bleeding.
was
His
open.
skin was open.
We were
Yeah.
like,
So
did he
yes,
stab
should
you?
he
Like,
be?
what was he doing?
Should he be in trouble for that? Absolutely. You know.
Sorry,
but
boo, you lost.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody's like, oh, these contracts and they work their whole lives. Yo, if I run out and beat somebody up in the street, I don't care how long I've been working, how many kids I got. If I get sent to jail for assault and then I end up killing the person and I have to go on trial for murder, I'm gonna lose my job, I'm gonna lose my family. Like, it shouldn't be any different. Like, you get in trouble, you do something, you're in the court system, like, that's your bad. Like, maybe if you're proven innocent, there should be a recourse for them to, like, try to get back into the league in some sort of way. But, like, everybody's acting like their jobs are somehow, like, just because they make all this money, and yes, it's an amazing thing, but you ain't special. Like, if you F up, you F up. Like, you should have to deal with the consequences.
I got a quick question. So now things have changed a lot with the way what is considered abuse. If you're a kid and say you are hit with a belt by your parents, and you call 911 and say, my parents just hit me with a belt, are your parents going to jail?
They can.
I think legally they probably could.
And I'm pretty sure, I think it varies from state to state, but I think California, you're not allowed to hit with an object. You can smack your kid with your hand, but I believe
I would never
that
see my
you're not
parents
allowed to hit with an object.
Wow.
So if your kid called 911, like, you could go to jail. I'm pretty sure that's California rule.
Okay.
But
that's deep.
My grandmother had tools. Like, she had this.
Wow,
Yo,
tools.
hammers.
No, she had this thing, you know, at the grocery store where you use it to get, like, the top shelf things down.
Yeah.
She used to have one of those things. She wouldn't even get up out of her chair. She'd be like, "What'd you say?"
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with your granny.
She had the grabber, and if she didn't have that, she'd use one of her canes and try
Yeah, my grandma had a cane.
to link your foot
She
up,
would, like, tap you.
so that way you
Listen,
can fall forward.
My grandparents had switches and belts. They didn't even need the cane.
Yeah.
But I feel like that belt was like a poltergeist belt. It was the longest belt in history.
Yeah.
It would reach
I
me.
used to
I could be
run around
across
the
the room
house.
and it would catch me.
Did they ever shake the drawer?
Oh yeah,
For the
yeah.
wooden
Oh yeah,
spoon.
the wooden spoon. Oh yeah. I've had that too. But you know, with all that said, we'll conclude this topic. But the NFL today, Roger Goodell had a press release, where he was heavily questioned about just domestic violence and
About
just
why
violence
he's a
as a whole with
failure?
the NFL. He mentioned one of the reporters asked him if he was resigning. He said he was not resigning, but he said he's enforcing tougher NFL conduct codes, and he says some mistakes can never be repeated. So I think that now it's really about to change the game for the NFL. Like I also read that over like 12 athletes right now are under suspicion of some form of domestic violence. Or involved in it in some way. So I mean, it's going to get serious because now people are noticing and putting pressure on it. So
Interesting.
all right, so we're moving on to our
didn't
next
notice
topic.
before.
It involves Congress. So there's been a lot of things going on back and forth. With the U.S. and
Did y'all know we was at war?
well, yeah.
Right.
We ain't heard nothing about it, but the NFL all the time in the news. But
NFL.
we're at war.
Ice
We're at war.
buckets.
Yes.
Ice
Yeah.
buckets.
Well,
Yeah,
Congress has given Syrian rebels approval to train Syrian rebels of the war over ISIS, which is a terror group, an Israeli terror group. So this is a statement that Obama just made at a recent event. So we'll take a little clip here and show it. It's loading now.
Known as ISIL. As part of the air campaign, France will join in strikes against ISIL targets in Iraq. And as one of our oldest and closest allies, France is a strong partner in our efforts against terrorism, and we're pleased that French and American service members will once again work together on behalf of our shared security and our shared values. More broadly, more than 40 countries, including Arab nations, have now offered assistance as part of this coalition. This includes support for Iraqi forces, strengthening the Iraqi government, providing humanitarian aid to Iraqi civilians, and doing their part in the fight against ISIL. Here at home, I'm pleased that Congress, a majority of Democrats and a majority of Republicans in both the House and the Senate, have now voted to support a key element of our strategy, our plan to train and equip the opposition in Syria so they can help push back these terrorists. As I said last week, I believe that we're strongest.
All right, so that's a little clip of Obama addressing the issue. Here's a couple facts. The American troops deployed to Iraq, Obama said, do not and will not have a combat mission. He said the mission is to advise and assist our partners on the ground. He said more than 40 countries, including Arab nations, have offered assistance in the battle against the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. In developments, the developments came after, is it pronounced? Is he saying ISIS?
He sounds like he's saying ISIL.
They've been using ISIS and ISIL,
right? Okay, so I was using ISIS. That's what I read. So we'll use ISIS and ISIL. The developments came after ISIS advanced its grip on portions of Syria and Iraq, seizing 16 villages near a Turkish border. The group is responsible for the beheading of the British aid worker David Haynes, American Stephen Sotloff, and James Foley. They also are rumored to have another captured Brit, Alan Henning, and believed to be holding another British citizen and two American aid workers. So, you know, do you think that this spending that we're doing to obviously kind of get this under control is something that we should be doing?
I don't know. It just all scares me. I hate wars. I hate it. It really does. Wars. Like, I just my first initial thing with both of the topics that we're going to be talking about next, my instant thought is to go, why are we so quick to jump outside of the United States, but we're not doing the things that we need to be doing in here? However, I mean, it's politics, and I understand that we need to keep our ties with people and whatnot, but it just, I don't know, it just scares me beyond belief, because Lord knows one day we're just going to be sitting here at Black Hollywood Live.
Don't say that. Don't put it out there. I mean, here's the thing. I think it's been happening for a while, obviously, but I think that now we have the videos that have surfaced with several beheadings, and this group is getting crazy aggressive, even more aggressive than they already were. We got to do something. You know what I mean? Like, we have to get involved. And I think the fact that we also have other countries that are helping us and assisting in this matter, it's great relationships for us, as well as I think that's the only way we can solve this problem, by uniting forces.
And I'm glad it's happening so quickly, in the sense of let's nip it now versus waiting for something to happen else to happen.
A lot of people think that it's been way too long coming, because the thing that is really scary about the ISIS situation is that they are very organized and not like shiftless, like random people that are like getting together like, I'm mad at the Western world. Like, they are military people that worked with Saddam Hussein. They are like structured.
They know what they're doing. They're trained.
They took over a massive amount of territory in Iraq very quickly.
Very quickly.
Under everybody's watch. Like, there's that whole like, oh, how did we not know they were doing that? I'm not entirely sure we didn't know that we were doing, because I don't trust the government like that. But the idea that they have been able to have the resources and the wherewithal to get as far as they've gotten so rapidly is definitely scary. And I know that Obama is getting it from every angle. They like poking him in the head and the behind and the stomach. Like, he can't catch a break nowhere, no how. Nothing he can do is right either. But it's the thing that I find funny is that when we're working with all these other countries, I always feel like everybody else gives so little. Like, it'll be like, America's sending 500,000 troops,
and they'll
France
send
is sending
200.
Like,
it's like crazy. I agree.
It's like, it's nice to have like consensus, because that's the big thing America has a problem with, or has in the past, that we like go and do stuff and like the rest of the world is looking at us like, why are you, like, who are you to come in here and do that? And we have support, but that's because they're also scared. But I don't know. I don't know that this is going to be effective, really.
And for him to say, you know, it's not for a combat mission or anything like that.
That's bullshit.
Exactly.
I mean,
this is going to turn into
he has
bring
to say
back
that,
our
though, because
troops.
if he doesn't,
it's
going to be backlash for him, because people are going to be pissed off that we are officially sending our troops back for a heavy war.
I mean, but it's one of those things, like, there's nothing he can do. Like, he cannot not put these guys on the ground, really, but it's almost not possible for him to keep it from evolving into a combat situation, because if they aggress, then we can't not aggress back. You know what I'm saying? So we're there, we got to do something. So I don't. Good luck. I think Obama will be all right, because, I mean, in the end, he's almost done. Whoever's about to come in, all this that's going on in the Middle East right now is
is all
real messy.
Good luck to you.
Good luck, Hillary. It's
Right.
gonna be rough.
Right. See what they say about you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Continue on with Obama.
But that would be badass for a female to come in
I would love for
And
her
wreck
to
the
come in
shop.
and just be
And
like,
wreck the shop.
and
"See,
clean up
it's
shop.
done."
Clean up. It would
All
be
you needed
interesting.
was-
I mean, it'll
all
be
you needed
interesting to
was
see
some
what
tits
happens.
up in
Yeah.
this White House.
All right, moving on to another topic, including Obama, is that he is sending some aids over to help assist with Ebola. You know that's been going crazy over in West Africa. It's just the disease is just rapidly growing, and Obama has made efforts to confront it globally by sending people over to assist and kind of trying to stop the spread of the disease. During an address at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, this is what Obama said: as many as 3,000 military personnel will assist in training new health care workers and building treatment clinics, specifically in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, where people have died in the streets and clinics have denied treatments to some patients due to the lack of resources. The U.S. Department of Defense will allocate $500 million for the efforts. Now, some funds will be used to construct 17 new treatment centers, while each will hold 100 beds and 10,000 sets of protective equipment and supplies to help 400,000 families. Now, here's just a little bit more facts about the Ebola spread. The virus actually was first identified in 1976, and since March, 2,400 men, women, and children are known to have died, and nearly 5,000 other people have been infected, and as many as 20,000 additional people could be infected by December. Now, do you agree with spending this $500 million
Hell yeah.
to stop the spread of this disease?
Stop it, because I do not need it to come over here.
That is-
like,
At
do
first,
whatever we can.
I was against it because I was like, well, why aren't we down, the street in downtown LA? But then I started looking at it and saw how quickly this spreads, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's get some people
It's
over there
scary.
and let's
Yeah.
block that clock.
All it takes is one on a
Yeah.
flight.
And
I
they
remember
are
a couple
very-
weeks ago they had somebody, an American, who there was an Ebola scare. It ended up, I think it.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it ended up being
Yeah.
that, but they were testing him because of that.
And they were worried, like when they flew the 2 people back to Atlanta to CDC and whatever, like that they were treating them at Emory, and everybody's like scared. But the idea is that we know how to treat it and contain it, so they need help. Praise the Lord, please give them the help that they need so that it can be contained and as many people obviously can be saved as possible, but because we are all at risk if there is a international outbreak of Ebola.
All I think was that Gwyneth Paltrow
I've
movie.
seen too many movies. Exactly.
I know that's right.
about
Outbreak.
movies.
Outbreak.
It wasn't Outbreak.
Oh, right. No, that
There's
was
a
an
bunch
Outbreak.
of
That
them.
was,
There's a lot of them.
Something with a C or something like
Contagion.
that. Contagion.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that one freaked me out. Yeah.
It only
And then the way that they took it back and showed you exactly how it
like,
happened.
Exactly. It
Man.
takes like one person to
Yeah.
just go and suddenly it's everywhere and you're like, wow, how? Ew, and you're bleeding from your eyes. I'm not interested.
For those of you who do not
Contain
think that
Jesus.
Obama should be sending people over there to assist him,
Watch that
watch
movie.
Contagion.
Yes,
You will have a
honey.
different perspective
Yes,
after that movie.
Help them in any way that we can.
Yes.
If we have it available, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. Well, he has been a busy man.
Busy man.
will
With a whole
continue to
lot
be.
of criticisms.
Continue with a whole lot of criticisms, but we are in support of Mr. Obama, so hopefully.
Yeah.
That's
How come we not?
President
Like everybody, you can
Obama.
criticize, but please support the man. He's running the country right now, and you live in it, so you can have your peace, but don't. I just have to say one thing. There was a dude on talk radio this week that just said some really awful things about the president and about all those people in Africa, and they are not Neanderthals, but barbaric, and that's why it's spreading. And like, I was just like,
Why are you on the
guys,
radio?
It's not necessary. Like, you can communicate that things need to change and things need to be different without disrespecting and being rude to people.
Yeah, it always goes to name calling and racist things under, on the low.
It's not necessary.
Barbaric. All right.
necessary.
Well, that concludes this week today. I want to remind everyone to go to the buzz meter question, which is, do you think Adrian Peterson should be removed from the NFL? We spoke about him and his...
You go to jail, you out of the NFL.
Yes, we spoke about him today and gave our opinions about him and child abuse, but we want to know what you guys think about it, and we'll read those results next week. Courtney, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Starlet.
Jesse, where people can find you?
At DJ Jesse J.
And you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you for tuning in to This Week, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace out.
From producers Maria Menounos, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.